final award for the evening is the Student of the Year. All right, the Student of the Year is the member that we have seen the most dramatic shift and change in. In order to be considered for this, it's not really something that you can really earn unless you do something unbelievable from like white belt to green belt, because we want to get to know you on a deeper level. We want to get to know you over the course of years, because over time, life is going to present lots of different situations. And we do pay a lot of attention to how a person learns to respond to the situations that happen to them in life. Right? Remember in the beginning of the class I said you have to make a decision before you get started of how you're going to be. Right? Think about it. You've seen countless movies that talk about this concept and this principle, right? It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. Your values only mean something when it's inconvenient. Everybody is a good person when it's honky-dory. Everyone's a great person when it's honky-dory. What happens when the you-know-what hits the fan? Then you really get to see what a person's made of, who they really are. So we take that into consideration when we look at who the team member, who the Student of the Year is. You know, we look at the technical improvements, of course, because this is a martial art, and we want to see the technique, the grace, the beauty, the speed control, the power control. We look at the commitment. Are they attending all of the events? Do they believe in the philosophy that we teach here, that Tang Soo Do teaches? So when we look for the Student of the Year, we look for all of these things. And for this year, I would like everybody to join me with a big round of applause in congratulating our Student of the Year, Mr. Brad Culbertson. I don't know if Brad remembers this, but I remember it vividly, and I remember two thoughts, and I'll share them with you in a moment. Do you remember what you said to me and Mrs. Sabanen before you began training and you were considering training, about starting your training?
I remember I was choosing between two different styles.
Right? You were looking at Krav Maga, right?
Krav Maga and Tang Soo Do.
Okay. Do you remember what you said to us?
I remember saying something to the effect that I had a great control in my emotions,
Okay.
which I learned very quickly. I really didn't. But that's the thing that stuck with me.
Okay.
And I had a great lesson just last week in that.
It's interesting that happened. I thought that was very interesting because we had already determined at that point. But it was nice because, we already knew at that point when Brad posted that picture that when the Barry jumped him and kicked him and back fist. Sorry, it was not kick to the throat.
No,
okay. So when you posted that, it was just really nice to see that you were confirming for us what we already knew. But I'll tell you too what Brad said to us when he was deciding between Krav Maga and Tang Soo Do to start training. Something to the effect of, I'm not really sure what you guys can teach me. That stood out to me. And I promise you this, I thought a second thing, because I love a challenge. I said to myself, I'm going to make him the Student of the Year. Because when somebody comes in and has, excuse me for saying this, that lack of humility, I look at that and I say, I have to elevate my game. My teachers have to elevate their game because this is not going to be easy. And when I look at everything that Brad has done, and I see the technical improvements, the humility improvements, the character improvements, the reservation, knowing when to stay back and when to push forward and learning all of that, I have to say that I have to first of all thank my leadership team because you probably spend more time with my team than you do with me. So I have to thank my leadership team first and foremost, because you guys played a big part in Brad standing here today. And let me make this clear. This is, when you stand here and you receive this award, he's in very, very high company. You know, the people that have earned this award over the last 5 or 6 years. People that have done monumental things and accomplished monumental things and have made monumental contributions so that we could be standing in this beautiful facility, right? I don't know how many members Brad has probably spoken to that have walked him off the edge of quitting. How many times before, after class, someone came over to him and vented a frustration, and he showed them, no, stick with me. We're going to figure this out. You know what I mean? You cannot put a value on that. You know what I mean? So it's not just about the nice kicks, the nice punches, and, you know, rah-rah on Facebook and checking in at USK every day, and even getting to a place where he's worked on his humility so much and his self-control so much. But to then help someone else achieve that, you reach another level in life when you do that. So, Brad, in recognition of your outstanding personal achievements that inspire so many, your presence has made an impact on our school that would be felt by all future generations of martial artists. Thank you for your outstanding efforts. Come sit down.